You open your eyes. The room is quiet, but you realize your arms and legs are completely locked in place. Your chest feels like it's bound in iron, and out of the corner of your eye, a shadow begins to detach itself from the wall. If you have lived through this waking nightmare, you are far from alone. Between 8 and 50% of the global population will experience this state of helpless terror at least once in their lives. Sufferers across the globe consistently report a specific trifecta of symptoms: a disorienting sensation of floating, an unbearable crushing weight on the lungs, and the distinct, menacing presence of an intruder in the room. Historically and geographically isolated populations have zero shared context, yet they envision the same shadow figure standing over their beds. Human imagination is highly diverse, making it unlikely for millions of disconnected people to invent the identical monster, unless the brain is hardwired to create it. To make sense of an invisible attacker, cultures built distinct mythologies around it. In Japan, the condition is known as kanashibari, meaning metal binding, a state historically attributed to supernatural spirits visiting in the night. Across the Arab world, the heavy entity perching on a sleeper's chest is known as a jathum. In Newfoundland, the nighttime paralysis is blamed on a malevolent creature called the Old Hag. The narrative simply adapts to the modern era. In the United States, these physical sensations of paralysis, floating, and shadowy intruders form the basis for thousands of reported space alien abductions. Clinical study identifies these events as the predictable symptoms of a specific chemical glitch in human neurobiology. This diagram tracks a standard human sleep cycle. During the rapid eye movement, or REM phase, the brain becomes highly active to generate dreams. To stop you from physically acting out those dreams, your body initiates muscle atonia, a chemical mechanism that temporarily paralyzes your voluntary muscles. Usually, this paralysis lifts moments before you wake up, but occasionally, the boundary between sleep stages breaks down, and the active REM phase drags into conscious waking. When this overlap happens, two distinct neural populations compete. The serotonergic cells, which send the sleep-off signals, try to wake your body up, but they fail to overpower the hyperactivated cholinergic cells, keeping the physical block in place. Your mind boots up, fully aware of its surroundings, while the physical hardware remains offline. The brain's own built-in safety mechanism effectively locks you inside a dormant body. We can trace exactly where the hallucinations begin. The sensation of floating or out-of-body movement correlates with a myoclonic spike in the brainstem's vestibular nuclei, the region responsible for spatial orientation. Meanwhile, your respiration is trapped in the shallow, rapid breathing pattern of REM sleep. When the conscious mind tries to take a deep, voluntary breath, the dormant respiratory muscles refuse to expand. Because the rib cage refuses to expand, the brain interprets this internal mechanical failure as an external mass crushing down on the lungs. This physical helplessness activates a switch in the midbrain, the threat-activated vigilance system. This is an ancient emergency response alarm designed to scan for predators. Your spatial awareness is spinning, your breathing is blocked, and your predator alarm is active. To make sense of these sensory inputs, the brain projects an endogenous hallucination into the room, a shadow person, an old hag, or an alien, to explain the terror. Knowing the neurobiology explains the physical symptoms, but it reveals how a culture's framework for the demon dictates the attack's biological severity. Take Denmark, for example. In Danish culture, sleep paralysis has no major supernatural associations. The population generally views it as an odd, harmless physiological event. This graph illustrates the impact of that clinical mindset. In Denmark, episodes of sleep paralysis are brief, and only 17% of sufferers report fearing that they might die during an attack. Compare that to Egypt, a culture with an elaborate framework of beliefs involving malevolent spirit-like creatures known as the jinn, which are blamed for the nighttime suffocation. Adding the Egyptian data to this chart reveals a significant shift. The episodes last longer, with a full 50% of sufferers terrified of imminent death. Because subjects believe a supernatural predator is in the room, their threat vigilance system goes into overdrive. That surge in panic chemically prolongs the paralysis. The cultural myth creates a biological feedback loop, turning a temporary glitch into a sustained nightmare. We are wired by evolution to detect threats in the dark. During sleep paralysis, overlapping brain states take those survival mechanisms and accidentally weaponize them against us. The shadow figure by your bed exists as a projection of hypervigilance, a monster fueled by the panic of the unknown. You cannot physically fight an attacker that your own mind is generating. To break the paralysis, shrink the shadow, and silence the alarm is to wake up with a rational understanding of your own neurobiology.